So today we're going to be talking about the biggest mistake that I see small business owners are doing right now because AI is popular. And it's a pretty big mistake. It's a mistake that can cost them a lot of money and a lot of time when it comes to their business, and it's actually destroying some of their business. Now, I'm not talking like generally, but 60 to 70% of the businesses that are doing this mistake, right? So we are going to be covering this problem. Then we are going to be going over how do we gain clarity in our businesses, because it's one of the most important topics that I want to cover today. And then we are going to be talking about a framework that I've created, which is called Clear Framework, that basically helps a business be scalable and ultimately scale. Okay, so let's get into it. The current problem right now that businesses face and are trapped by is that businesses are implementing AI into their workflow, especially the free templates, right? I have a problem with these free templates because it is the cool thing to do and the new trend. Now, AI and automation is the best thing that could have happened to businesses right now. It's the biggest opportunity. I'm one of the first people to say that, okay? So that's not the problem. AI is not the problem. The problem is the fact that these business owners are seeing other people sell their templates, or their N8N templates, their Make.com templates, online, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, and they look really cool. Oh, you can save 100 hours per month using this automation, this AI agent. Well, it's not really that easy just to copy paste a template and put it into your business. It's actually pretty dangerous because you need to have a certain clarity beforehand in order to know, okay, what are the pain points that I have? What are the bottlenecks that I do have? And what are the specific automation / AI agents that I need to put into my business in order to solve those specific bottlenecks? Because if you, for instance, implement an AI agent in your sales process, which is really good, by the way, right now, without any AI and automation, but you put an AI agent there because, okay, you think that it's cool and it's maybe going to save you an hour or two, but you are going to see that it is going to decrease a lot the closing rate of your clients. Maybe you work in a luxury niche. There, people do want to feel the human connection and the human care that a person can provide, which an AI agent cannot at this moment, right? So therefore, it's like putting shoe cream on a shoe that has a broken heel. Look at this reference image. So basically what I'm talking about is you are trying to make your business seem more high-end, cooler by implementing AI solutions into it, but it still has some issues internally, like the broken heel, right? Which are not fixed. It adds even more complexity to an already unclear workload. It adds even more confusion with the employees, and it doesn't feel like it is a part of the whole process, right? What I'm talking about here is specifically for some businesses that are not really tech driven. So let's say you have a garage and you repair, I don't know, cars, right? There's not, okay, maybe it's not the best example because there is some kind of technology there, but let's say for this, with this example, you have that garage, right? Garage, however you say it. And again, in the sales department, you implement an AI agent. It's pretty strange, first of all, for the employees, if it has been a company that has 10 plus years on the market, because those employees of yours and your customers are already used to, and they're used to a certain style of working. Manual work with papers, with, I don't know, so maybe some basic tech like an Excel sheet or something. And then you implement this AI system into everything. It is like, okay, it's like the odd man out. Maybe it could have worked without implementing that AI system, if it makes any sense. Okay, now this leads to the AI implementation / automation causing more problems and bottlenecks than before. Now, because we do not have clarity, this is the main thing we are going to be covering today, clarity, and it's one of the most important words when it comes to running a business, clarity. As a fun fact, as a statistic, 75% of small businesses lack documented processes, making it harder to scale, delegate, or automate effectively. Now, for this stat, I was correlating clarity with documented processes. Of course, in this term clarity, there are a lot more components to it than just documented processes, but documented processes are a big part of having clarity into your business. Now, businesses with documented processes are significantly more likely to achieve successful AI and automation implementation. These are some stats, and these are some papers that have been published to show these things, right? So these are real information, real data. Now, how do we gain clarity into our business? First of all, what do we understand when we say clarity into a business? Like I said, documented processes, maybe some SOPs for our employees, maybe some Loom videos, tutorials to be even more granular, to go into even more details, maybe for our employees or even for our clients. It depends on what business you are running. Having one single source of truth, which is a very big part, in my opinion, when it comes to clarity, because most of the small businesses are using different apps for different departments. For instance, let's say one department communicates on Discord, one communicates via emails, one communicates on Slack. And all of them have really cool ideas when it comes to scaling the company, right? But they are all scattered in different applications and saved weirdly and left out and forgotten after a certain period of time. So all of these good ideas and good data that we have and we gather through our KPIs, right, is being scattered. So it's really hard to even use them to our advantage. Now, if we have clarity through all of these processes, right, this leads to employees doing faster, more efficient work, clients having a better experience, founders having an easier time training their staff, and ultimately unlocks the ability for founders to improve their business. This is the biggest one. It's the main reason, right? We are able to understand our pain points and figure out what AI infrastructures, automations we need in our business and how to implement them. So this was the part about clarity. I hope you understood it. It's pretty plain and simple. And I hope you understood the importance of having clarity and all of these components into our business. Now let's go over a bit to the framework, the clear framework that can help our business be a scalable business and then ultimately scale, right? So CLEAR stands for capture, locate, enhance, automate, and review. And we have 4 sub-points for each one of these acronyms, let's say. Let's start with capture, which is the first step. Now, a first sub-step in capture would be to list all of your core business processes. Then, to document who does what and when, gather all templates and assets into one single place, and ultimately create checklists for each processes. This whole C, capture, it's about having clarity, first of all, into your business. So I come up with this example for a digital design agency. Now, how would the capture part of CLEAR framework work and actually apply to their business model? So first of all, list all core business processes. They have lead generation, client onboarding, project management, design delivery, invoicing, so on and so forth. Document who does what and when. So account manager handles onboarding, designer creates assets, admin sends invoices. Pretty clear. Then gather all templates and assets. For example, we have all the proposals, the contracts, the onboarding forms, design briefs, everything, right? Put it in one single place. And then we create a checklist for each process. So new client onboarding checklist, project delivery checklist, end of project review checklist. This is only the first step, this capture step, right? If we implement only the C from CLEAR, only the capture step, we are going to be having huge clarity into our business. And directly by implementing these without any AI and automation, if you do not do these things already, you are going to see huge improvements when it comes to the speed at which your employees work, the client experience, and even for you as a founder, you are going to be having more mental space to work on the business, not in the business. Okay, so this was the C component of everything. Then we have to go to L, which is going to be locate. Now, what are the sub-steps? Map out each workflow visually, collect team and customer feedback, pinpoint bottlenecks and delays, and quantify time, costs, and loss. Now, again, for the same business model, locate. How would it look like? Map out each workflow visually. Use a flowchart to show steps from client inquiry to project completion. So you have to have a visual image and representation of the whole processes from capturing a lead all the way to selling a product, which is the last step basically, or offboarding your client, depending on what type of agency or what type of company you are running. Then we have to collect team and customer feedback. As designers and project managers, where delays happen, survey clients about their experience. Of course, you as a founder, maybe you see some things, but you really have to go into the weeds of everything. You have to understand how the employees work and how do they feel about certain tasks. And of course, we have to always gather feedback from our clients, because our clients are the most important thing there is for a company. Of course, we basically service them. Then pinpoint bottlenecks and delays. Projects stall waiting for client feedback. Revisions take too long. Unclear handoffs between team members. These are just some examples. Basically, 3 is the output of 2. 3 is the result of 2. So we collect team and customer feedback, and we come with some conclusions in the third step. Then we quantify time, cost, lost. So we lose on average 2 days per project waiting for signed contracts, or design revisions add 20% to project timelines. Basically, we go to 2, right? We collect all of the data that we need. Then we come up with statements. Project stall waiting for client feedback, right? Then we go even more granular. We go to stats, we go to KPIs. Okay, we lose on average 2 days. We're even more clear on what all of these costs are and what we are actually losing through these pain points and through these bottlenecks that we have discovered. Now, this is the locate step. By only having the C and the L step, the capture and the locate step, you are way ahead of a lot of small businesses. Now, these are some stats. 15 to 25% of operational efficiency is lost in small businesses due to unidentified bottlenecks and process constraints. We cannot see like a fourth of our operational efficiency costs and loss, because we do not have a clear picture on how everything works, and we cannot identify the bottlenecks that we need to solve, right? This is the main problem that leads to people implementing AI into their business and solving a pain point that wasn't even there in the first place. We need clarity in order to see exactly what we need to solve, right? Mapping and quantifying bottlenecks can reduce wasted time and cost, directly impacting profitability and customer satisfaction. Okay, so these were the first 2 steps, very, very important in the CLEAR framework. Then we go to the third one, enhance, the E. Standardize steps and create SOPs, remove unnecessary steps, develop templates and checklists, and train team on optimized processes. Basically here, in this step, it's like, what was the last step before AI existed? So what small businesses still are doing, right? The ones that are not implementing AI, and the good small businesses, which is, okay, we got all of the bottlenecks from before. We know what they are. Now we are going to document everything in like SOP format, Loom formats for our employees and for our clients to have clarity into our processes, to then identify even more bottlenecks. And we are going to have even more checklists. We are going to train the team on the optimized processes that we have come up with after solving those specific pain points. So again, with the example, 1, standardize steps and create SOPs. Write clear SOPs for onboarding, feedback collection, and file delivery. It has to be so easy that a 15-year-old can come into your business and he knows how to do everything from A to Z in one day, because he has training videos, he has documentation, he has manuals for everything. It has to be that easy. Okay, then it's going to be, of course, really easy for you as a founder to hire people and work with the best, because people want to work in environments that are easy and friendly for them to utilize, right? Remove unnecessary steps, eliminate redundant approval layers or extra meetings. Here we see where the bottlenecks are and how to solve them just by tweaking some of our operational actions, right? So we don't really need to implement AI. Maybe we do have some extra steps that are not necessary and actually add more cost or more time to a process that should not be that long, for instance. Develop templates and checklists, use standardized feedback forms, project update templates, and delivery email templates. train team and optimized processes, hold a team meeting to walk through new SOPs and templates, provide quick reference guides. Against the stats, standardized operating procedures lead to consistent quality and fewer errors, which is critical for automation readiness, right? So we need to be ready for automation by having already everything clear. And businesses with robust SOPs achieve up to 60% faster onboarding and training for new team members, just like we talked about. It's way easier to hire people, to onboard them. Okay, then we have the fourth step, which is the automate step. This is the hot topic right now, but before we should go to automate, we should complete all of these three other steps, the CLE, before going to automate the A, which is identify repetitive manual tasks, research automation tools, pilot automations in one area, and document new automated workflows. So, identify repetitive manual tasks. For example, sending onboarding emails, scheduling meetings, sending reminders for feedback, right? So we see exactly what are the tasks that really can be automated. Surface level, we're not really maybe using AI, maybe we don't have to. We can just automate them. That's the first layer. Then, research automation tools. What do you need in order to solve these pain points, but solve them as simple as possible? You don't need to create an AI agent for some simple tasks. You can use Zapier, you can use even Calendly for scheduling if you were using, Google Calendar manually. And you can use a CRM if you haven't used any, like Asana or ClickUp. It's just firstly implementing some digital apps or digital solutions before even implementing AI itself. Pilot automations in one area. For example, set up an automation so that when a contract is signed, the client automatically receives an onboarding email and a project is created in the PM tool. Again, automations before implementing AI. Of course, you can implement AI in the onboarding process if you want to make it even more elevated. But if you are not really, really skilled with using AI and AI agents, you should just simply automate some of these steps in a simple way. Then document new automated workflows, update SOPs to include new automations and ensure everyone knows how they work. Really important step. So just like I said, if we have clarity beforehand, before using AI and automation, we need to have after too. So for instance, we are implementing a system, an AI system into our business. Well, we need to train our employees how to use that system. And we need to be very specific, especially when we are working with maybe older employees that did not have any tangents with AI before. So we need to make it as friendly as possible and as easy to use as possible. The most successful automation projects focus on high volume, repetitive tasks, right? These are the quick wins that can deliver 20 to 40% labor cost savings and process time reductions of 40 to 60%. These are huge numbers, guys, when we're talking about small businesses and businesses in general, huge numbers. And 91% of small businesses report success with AI and automation when solutions are properly matched to their documented pain points and processes. And pilot testing and evaluating tools before full rollout reduces the risk of failed implementations and wasted investment. Of course, you need to test some automations in small parts of your business before going out and applying that automation or AI infrastructure into your whole business, right? This is more for bigger companies. Okay. And the last step, which is going to be the review step, are define key metrics and KPIs, stop dashboards or trackers, collect team and customer feedback, and optimize based on results. So define key metrics and KPIs, project turnaround time, client satisfaction scores, number of revision rounds, hours saved on admin tasks. We need to have a clarity when it comes to our metrics. Why? Because if we know our metrics, we can scale. As simple as that. Set up dashboard or trackers for example, Google Sheets. Really simple, or even more complicated dashboards. So you can build them using Lovable if you have any AI experience, and not really AI experience if you know about Lovable. Collect team and customer feedback. Again, you should constantly do that, and optimize based on results. This is how you scale ultimately. Businesses that track KPIs and continuously optimize their processes see return on investment increases of up to 281% over 3 years. So you triple your business just by having KPIs and reiterating your processes based on data. that you have gathered, with payback periods averaging just 9.5 months. So this is the clear framework, really simple, with 4 sub-steps each acronym, that if us as business owners are following this framework, we are going to have a scalable business and we are going to ultimately be able to scale. And of course, if you have these put in place, then you can get that template, that AI and automation template, and put it in your business. But you have to tweak it so that it falls like a puzzle piece. It falls perfectly into your business, right? Okay, so this has been the lecture, let's say, for today. If you see any more free automation templates, analyze them, see how they're working, maybe teach, maybe learn yourself exactly how to create basic automations first, and then go into AI if you are a business owner and if you are interested in scaling and of course utilizing all of the tools that we have right now with AI, which are absolutely amazing. And also want to say that I'm going to be creating a community on Skool, a community of small business owners, where we are going to be sharing ideas on how to properly scale your business, how to properly use AI and automation infrastructures into your business. The community is not created yet, but I have down below in the description of this video a link to a waiting list. If you're interested, you can sign up there and you are going to be receiving an email when the community is being launched. The first 25 members are going to have a free lifetime pass. Then it is going to be a paid community, because I want only quality small business owners and people that are really interested and offer value and want to learn as much as possible about this subject. If you have any more questions, comment them. I'm going to read them and I'm going to try to answer to as many I can as possible. So see you next time.